Hey, you guys. Legitimately, I'm about to cry. This is my third attempt at recording this full moon reading. I have no idea what's happening. I keep getting knocked off. I've tried different devices. I don't know what's going on. I'm super frustrated, and the last one, I was 22 minutes in when it cut me off. So I'm going to do my best to bring you those messages again. Um, Even though I've thrown the cards back in the deck already. But first of all, I do want to thank you guys, all of you, for liking, subscribing, and sharing my content. We are well over 500 subscribers at this point, which is amazing to me. Again, never really thought anybody would want to hear anything I had to say. So this is crazy. And so anybody who commented on my video called most important lessons of awakening or something like that, you will all be entered into a drawing to win a free healing session with me coming up. Okay. So thank you. The full moon in Virgo is coming on February 19th. And to me, the full moons, the new moons, are like nature's way of kind of organizing our ascension process. If not that, then just our growth process. And it gives us an opportunity every couple of weeks to reevaluate, to release, to change our lives in whatever way we need to get rid of what's not working, to set intentions about what, we want. And the full moon is really often about releasing. Okay, because it's the completion of a lunar cycle, and so therefore the completion of a cycle in general. Running on 28 days, much like the female cycle. So it's a natural rhythm, and every living being is on this planet, because the moon is part of this system, is subjected to that. So my first question to ask was, what shifts should we be expecting with this full moon? Okay, and what I had pulled earlier was the Seven of Swords with the Five of Wands and the King of Swords, and the abridged version of what I had already spent 20 minutes talking about is that I feel that some like small, almost like they were using the word petty, like small upsets from inside, we're going to start bubbling up. And it really is surrounding the idea of authenticity, okay? And the things that we are doing that are parts of our persona, our personality, our ego, which are masks, and they are not authentic, okay? So this to me was really about excising the pieces of ourselves that are inauthentic and causing conflict with the Five of Wands with our true authentic selves. The truth of the King of Swords, right? And the King of Swords then being an expert at excising almost surgically these pieces of ourselves which no longer serve us, which are not in our highest good, which are not our highest expression of our soul. Okay. It is about allowing those things to rise to the surface so that they can be identified and cut away and released. I given the example of myself as essentially seeing myself as a strong person, right? Which I am. We all are. We all have our own individual strengths, and but the way that the persona that I would take on sometimes is like this idea of strength as hardness, the strength as the stone statue, the vision of, like, say, Athena with her sword, and strength, there can be strength and softness too. And I took on such a persona of like a total badass. And the reason for that was because that's how I protected myself. That's how I protected the innocence inside me, which had been so badly damaged. Um, but it's still inauthentic. There's a part of me that is that. There's a part of me that's like that. but that's only a part. There's a lot more to being me than just that. And so we need to be able to integrate all of those aspects of ourselves and not so much deny or kill the ego, right? But integrate all of it so that we become our authentic selves and we're no longer masking the soft parts of ourselves, the vulnerable, the innocent, okay? The second set of cards that came out was the Queen of Wands with the Six of Cups and the Hermit. So to me, that was really about reparenting. In it, like the Queen of Wands to me is like this magical mother who does it all. She knows and does everything, and she is capable of anything that she puts her mind to. She's a master creator, a master manifester, and she herself is innocent too. She simply manifests from the good of her heart, right? From her own personal power. She's not manipulating anyone. She's not, when she's in her upright position, in her true and authentic nature, she is very powerful from her core, okay? And I feel that this period is going to be about using that hermit energy to go within, allow the hermit, which is also the Virgo card right away, by the way, to light our way within, all right, to get into our inner child, our sense of innocence, our sense of authenticity, who we are before we put the masks up to protect ourselves, and allow that innocence to grow, to be guided forth, to light the way for that innocence to come out, right? That innocence being the authenticity that we need to begin to show as we excise away all of these facades that we carry around to protect ourselves, because we don't need to protect ourselves. We're not actually protecting ourselves. What we are is hiding our true nature. And our true nature is here with the Queen of Wands and with the Six of Cups, this sort of core essence, which is just plain magical, right? So it's going to be about going internally again, okay, to allow ourselves to release that energy. And to stand in our power in it, that our power now, right, with the Queen of Wands is in our innocence, is in our core, is in our very like essence, okay? It's no longer the things that we have shown ourselves. The perfect example is, how do you show yourself on social media? That's probably not your core. That's one of your personae. Almost no one is putting themselves unequivocally out on social media. That is an extremely non-safe environment, that's like an environment of judgment and superficiality. So you're putting, just a part of your persona out there. Well, we want to know, and you want to know, and you need to know, you need to excavate who is your core. What is your innocence? Reparent that inner child. Make sure he or she knows how loved and perfect he or she is, and that there's no need for the facade. There's no need to continue to hide it, okay? There were other messages that came through, and I apologize because I'm not in the moment. I don't have them anymore. I just channel this stuff out and I don't remember. If I can access and save that file, I will certainly share it. But that was the general message for the first half of this reading. Sorry. Okay, moving on. The next question was, what are we to release? And I actually received this Four of Swords card. And then I received two cards that had come up before, and I really feel that these were like the core of the messages beforehand. The Seven of Swords with the Six of Cups, right? And out of all the cards that I pulled, these were the core messages. The removal of the facade to expose the authentic. Okay? And I feel like, you know, this Four of Swords here is a period of rest after a time that was extremely painful. And I feel like the message in this is that there's no need for this facade moving forward, that we are safe in who we are. We are who we are for a reason. We're safe to allow this, this lie, basically, is what this is. You know, it's a facade, and at its core, it's a lie. So it's safe to allow this lie to fall, okay? And allow your true self, your authentic self, your core, your innocence, your inner child, who you are, who you truly are, to start coming out, and really, like with the King of Swords energy, just excising out all the things that are not appropriate with a surgeon's precision. And that has some very Virgo energy to it as well. It feels very much like pulling out the details and picking out and sorting the pieces of ourselves and the pieces of our energy. And so those are the pieces of ourselves that we may choose to release. In some ways, we'll also be integrating it, right? Because there is truth in there is some truth in some of those facades. I can't vouch for every facade that you've ever created for yourself. But, you know, when it comes down to things like strength, all right, there's obvious strength in that. I'm obviously a strong person. You're strong people. Am I, you know, 100% of the time a stone cold bitch? Absolutely not. In fact, probably the reason I created that facade for myself is being a Cancerian. I'm very soft on the heart level, but I can definitely put on the cold on the outside. Okay, so so this is really about saying it is safe to love, it is safe to be who you are, and realizing that and allowing that. It's really about allowing at that time, at that point, because it is we who have not allowed by creating the facade, which didn't protect us in the first place. Okay. So it's this facade that we're releasing. It's the inauthentic bits of ourselves. The stories. That's another point. The stories. One of my teachers liked to say, "Oh, so that's your story." And it frustrates the hell out of me because I'm like, but it's true. But the thing is, it's partially true. And the reality is you have more control over it than you realize. So let's start releasing these stories that are not true. Sorry about the dogs. There they are freaking out about that. So probably we all needed to hear, that's your story, okay? It's just your story. It's not you. It's just your story. You can change your story at any time, okay? The next question I had was, what upgrades will we be receiving? So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle. I'm actually going to throw all these cards back in. What upgrades will we be receiving with this full moon? I swear there will be a riot if this thing stops recording again. A one-person riot in my house. But I'm going to be mad as hell, is all I'm saying. Okay. What upgrades will we be receiving? What upgrades with this full moon, please, for the collective? One more card, please, at least. One more card, please. Okay. The final card I pulled here was the Fool. So there you go, a leap of faith. All right, stepping out of the comfort zone, not even giving a shit. The cards that came out before that were the Five of Pentacles with the Ace of Swords. And we're talking about the upgrades here, and I feel like here is a... This is a big vote for releasing, or a it's just like a truth bomb about our own lack consciousness, okay? The ways that we feel, okay, I'm hearing the ways that we feel like we are inadequate are the facades we create for ourselves. It's like we overcompensate for who we think we are not, the ways in which we think we are not enough. And the reality is you are enough, okay? That's the reality. It's kind of a tough pill to swallow sometimes because we have been hurt in so many ways that it's very difficult to believe that. And I have to tell you that that is one of my biggest struggles. I was even going through some of that this morning and saying, like, why am I faltering in my faith about, you know, a certain situation? And it's because deep down I believe that I am not worthy of it, you know, or maybe not deep down, but maybe it's just like the re-emergence of this feeling of not being worthy. Okay, and I don't think that that is my core belief. I think that it was a core belief, and so sometimes we can bring these issues back up for additional clearing. And that's kind of where I am with it personally. So if that resonates with you, then that might be a message for you as well. But you know, that is one aspect of lack mentality, of lack consciousness. The belief that we are not enough, okay? Or the belief that we don't deserve what it is that we want, or the belief that we don't have enough, or that it is hard to get what we want. All that is lack mentality. And so I feel, and I truly, truly hope, and I'm putting it out to the universe, that because we're talking about what upgrades are we receiving, that we understand the truth of our value, okay? That we understand the truth of our worth, and that we are worthy, and that we are worthy of being chosen, or being selected, or being loved, or being, you know, employed, or receiving abundance. You're worthy of that. And that comes, you know, that belief comes through tremendous pain. Okay? And this Ace of Swords, I don't always, I see an aspect of pain and difficulty in the swords, no matter which sword it is, okay? So this is a new beginning, this is clarity, this is truth, but it is also through tremendous pain. And that's what creates this lack consciousness. And we're again talking upgrades. Last card that came out was the Fool. This is like a brand new beginning, a stepping off point, you know, a new understanding, a new consciousness. I feel like stepping into a new dimension, stepping into a new timeline. All right. I cannot tell you, because I don't know these things, if there's some big, you know, shift that's supposed to take place astrologically or anything like that. Like that's not my my wheelhouse. But the messages that I am receiving, that this is a major shift. The lack consciousness, leaving lack consciousness behind, is a major shift. Okay. That helps in manifestation, because if you're constantly trying to manifest things by noticing how they are not there, let's take money for instance. If you're trying to manifest money by wanting money and it being attached to money, it just creates the energetic pull that there is not money there. Okay? Same with love and relationships and a person in your life. If you are so fixated on a person coming back or being in your life, it's like it highlights the fact that they're not there. And so we're learning how to really do that. and we're learning. And I think that we fixate on them not being there because we're afraid they won't be there. It's like we're afraid that they won't select us, or we won't be chosen, or we don't deserve it. Whether it's a job or abundance in general, or a relationship. Like those are the big things that I can think of. Health, those are like the things that people truly desire and want in their lives. And it's time to stop thinking that we don't deserve it, that it can't happen for us. And I say that with conviction because that is one of my major issues. Okay, so anybody who's suffering and struggling through that, it's time for us to stop. Okay. It's a new beginning. It's a new dawn, a new day. Profound new beginning. The final question is advice from what's the advice from the divine, please, for this new, the full moon in Virgo on the 19th. What's the advice from the divine for us, please? Anything else that wants to come out? This is pretty clear. We're just going to go with this one. The Magician. Also a card that can refer to Virgo, and it's a full moon in Virgo. I'm Virgo rising, even though I'm Cancerian, and this Virgo rising has allowed me to really ground much of my abundance and many of my manifestations, right? Really make them become real. And that's kind of what this Magician is about. What I heard when it fell out is you create your own reality. You fully create your own reality. And so through the embracing of our authentic selves, the embracing of our authentic nature, we truly create a reality that we want to be in, that we want to exist in. We create the reality that we desire. We create, we allow ourselves to be the person that we want to be, right? And in that, by being that authentic person, we become the person that other people, abundance, all kinds of things are attracted to, all right? When you're wearing those facades, you are only attracting falseness. And if you're in the state of wearing those facades, those masks, that's going to be reflected in your external life, okay? So we are excising that falseness. We're showing our true nature. And we're shedding this belief that we can't or don't deserve it or are incapable or whatever. We're fully capable. All right? We create our own realities. This is about grounding our manifestations into the physical plane. There's an emotional component to this coming up, so that we can actually feel those emotions, allow them to ground into the physical plane to help us manifest the reality that we want. But we absolutely must come at it from an authentic place, okay? From a place of having excised that mask, that inauthenticity, that falseness, that lie, those walls that we built around the child, the core of who we are, okay? Let me go ahead and I don't know. Do I want to use these? I'm just going to use one of these cards because I didn't prepare myself to pull another card. So I'm going to pull an oracle card just to cap off the reading here for the full moon in Virgo on February 19th. Okay. What came out was Saint Francis, follow your heart. And so I feel that that is extremely apropos, considering we're talking about your innocence and allowing that to shine through and integrating that into who you are. Like, what is more innocent than the pure essence of your heart? And Saint Francis is obviously the patron saint, well, I shouldn't say obviously, is the Catholic patron saint of animals. And so, to me, what is more innocent than an animal? You know, and it's like accessing that part of our nature that is so important right now. Those are the messages that I'm receiving for this full moon. So I do hope you will take some time to talk to your inner child, to see who you are at your core, because that inner child will tell you. And ask that inner child what he or she needs, they will tell you. And that's what you need. Give that to yourself, give that to your inner child. Make sure you're taking the time to do that, because that's going to help you clear those facades. Okay, excise those bits of untruth, who you are not. Allow them to integrate, melt back into who you are, and do not feel any guilt or shame over them. This is being human. This is a healing process, and you have all the tools you need to make this happen. You're worth it. You're worthy. Let's do it. Okay. That's so lame. Let's do it, guys. But no, let's really do it. Okay. All right. I love talking to you. Please let me know what you thought about this video. Like, comment, share, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye.